If you recently bought a new TV, you may notice that the built-in speakers don't sound great and want an easy way to get better sound. While most soundbars are more compact than traditional home theater soundbar setups, many can still be quite large and require additional components like subwoofers or rear speakers. So can you get a nice compact standalone soundbar that still gives you a good cinema-like experience? Today we'll be taking a look at the very compact Sonos Beam soundbar to see if you can still get big sound from a small soundbar. Hey, I'm Nick. I'm a writer here at Ratings.com, where we help people find the best products for their needs. Please subscribe to our channel and visit our website to find tons of soundbar reviews and recommendations. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Sonos Beam's design, including style, dimensions, and build quality. Then we'll talk about its connectivity options and supported audio formats before taking a look at the controls and app support. After that, we'll talk about its sound quality, including its center and surround sound performance and available sound enhancement features. It's worth mentioning that we'll be testing the soundbar on its own without the optional subwoofer or surround speakers that you can add. We hope that soon we'll be able to test those variations, but for now, we'll keep it simple and check out the bar's standalone performance. The Sonos Beam has a nice sleek look and comes in black or white. It's covered with a mesh fabric that surrounds the entire bar and has 3 touch-sensitive buttons on the top. The design language matches Sonos' other products, which is great if you plan on adding additional speakers to your home or home theater setup. If you need to wall mount it, you'll have to buy special wall mounting brackets, as it uses proprietary wall mounting holes on the bottom, which is a bit of a shame. As far as dimensions go, it sits at 25.5 inches wide, 4 inches deep, and 2.5 inches high, so it should be low enough to not block the view of your TV screen. The Beam is made out of heavy plastic, and the entire thing feels well built and robust. Unfortunately, it's covered in a fabric that may be prone to getting dirty or damaged. And that's it for the design. Now let's look at the connectivity options to see how the Sonos Beam hooks up to your system. The Sonos Beam only has 3 physical inputs: the power, Ethernet, and HDMI port. This would normally mean that the only way to connect the Beam is by HDMI ARC, but don't worry, the Beam also comes with an HDMI to optical adapter, so you can use an HDMI cable and connect it to the digital optical audio port of the TV, just in case your TV doesn't support ARC over any of its HDMI ports. It's worth mentioning that if you are going to connect the soundbar via HDMI, make sure to use the port marked ARC on your TV, and if necessary, remember to enable ARC within the settings of your TV. As far as supported audio formats, the Sonos Beam is a bit more limited than some other soundbar setups. Over both HDMI or optical, the Beam only supports Dolby Digital and stereo PCM. This means all of the DTS codecs are unsupported, which is a bit of a shame. If you want to use the Sonos Beam as a music speaker, you'll want to connect it to your Wi-Fi network. Like most Sonos speakers, it doesn't support Bluetooth, and you'll stream music to it from any mobile device that's connected to the same Wi-Fi network. This has a few advantages over Bluetooth, including a much further range, as well as only playing the music you're streaming as opposed to all phone audio. So if you take a phone call or get a notification, the audio won't play through your soundbar, which is good. As far as the controls go, the Sonos Beam has 3 touch-sensitive buttons on the top of the bar for basic controls like play, pause, volume up and down, or to enable or disable the microphone. There's no remote for this soundbar, but you can control the bar's volume using your TV's remote if you program it using the remote control setup feature of the app. The Sonos Beam also supports Amazon Alexa or Google Assistant for voice controls, so you can do things like play music from your favorite streaming service, turn on your TV if it supports Google Assistant or Alexa, or adjust the volume of your movie just by talking to your soundbar, which is great if your remote is just out of arm's reach or if you're feeling a little lazy. However, it's worth noting that voice controls aren't something we currently test for. As mentioned earlier, Sonos has their own app, and it's somewhat necessary to get the most out of your Sonos Beam. You'll want to use it to help set up your soundbar initially, and it can also work as your remote if you don't pair it to your TV's remote or use any of the voice controls. The app is also the best way to control your entire network of Sonos speakers if you end up expanding your setup beyond just the Sonos Beam. You can either use the Sonos app to play music, or you can stream right from within most music service apps like Spotify. If you already have a Sonos setup in your house, or want to add speakers after the fact to create one, you'll be able to choose which speakers to send the music to and control the volume of each one individually through the Sonos app, making it easy to fill your entire house with music. Now that we've gone over connectivity and controls, let's take a look at what kind of sound you can expect to get from such a compact soundbar. The stereo frequency response of the Sonos Beam is fairly decent. While it has a neutral, though slightly bright sound profile, unfortunately this soundbar lacks a bit of low bass. This is to be expected from a standalone soundbar without a subwoofer, and again, if you want to add some extra kick or thump, you can always add the Sonos wireless subwoofer separately, though we haven't tested it as of yet. Overall, the sound is flat and well balanced, and while you do still get some bass from the Sonos Beam, fans of a low, rumbly bass will likely be disappointed. On the upside, the Sonos Beam has side-firing speakers on the soundbar itself, which help create a great wide soundstage that sounds almost as wide as having dedicated home theater tower speakers. The Sonos Beam is a 3.0 setup, meaning that in addition to its left and right speakers, it also has a dedicated center channel. This helps it achieve excellent center channel performance, which results in a clear and more accurate audio reproduction of dialogue in movies and TV shows. If you've ever had to crank up your TV's volume to hear what the heck Bruce Willis was saying over the sound of those background explosions, this should definitely help. Due to the fact that on its own, the Beam is just a 3.0 setup, there's no dedicated surround channels, and all 5.1 or 7.1 content will be downmixed to a stereo signal. This means that the experience won't be nearly as immersive as if you have dedicated speakers behind or beside you. As I mentioned earlier, if you want a more immersive experience, you can add other Sonos speakers and use them as dedicated rears, though we haven't tested this yet. The nice thing about this is these are the same speakers Sonos uses as standalone music playback speakers for other rooms. So if you're having a party and want music in multiple rooms, you could steal the rear speakers from your home theater setup and use them to add music in your kitchen or on the patio for the night, though you might have to reconfigure them a bit in the app. The Sonos Beam has more sound enhancement features than most soundbars we've tested so far, which is great. It has a room correction feature to automatically adapt the sound to your room, though unfortunately it's only available for iOS as of the making of this video. There's also dialogue enhancement to help make voices clearer, even at low volumes, and a night mode to help make all content play at the same volume, so you won't upset your neighbors with a sudden loud explosion or commercial. Also, while there's no proper EQ, you can adjust the bass and treble a bit, which is nice. Overall, the Sonos Beam is a decent soundbar for a variety of uses, but it really excels with dialogue and TV shows. Unfortunately, its lack of a subwoofer or rears means that it isn't the best choice to create an immersive movie theater-like experience at home, though again, adding the optional wireless subwoofer or rear speakers would help with this. It's a decent option for music as well, as it can get quite loud, and the option to add additional speakers to create a multi-room setup is nice. Though again, fans of bass may be disappointed if they don't add the optional sub, and its lack of DTS support is disappointing. If you don't need your soundbar to be so compact and want something in a similar price point that comes with a subwoofer and rears, check out the Vizio SB36512F6, one of our top soundbar picks. It can currently be found for a bit cheaper than the Sonos and has a wireless subwoofer that just needs to be plugged into the wall for power and 2 satellite speakers that both get plugged into the subwoofer. This Vizio soundbar even supports Dolby Atmos, thanks to the 2 upwards firing speakers in the soundbar that bounce off your ceiling to create the illusion of sounds coming from above you. Unfortunately, it doesn't look and feel quite as premium as the Sonos Beam, and while it can still be controlled by Google Assistant, it doesn't have a microphone built in, so you can't speak to it directly. If you're looking for a fairly compact standalone soundbar, you may also consider the Bose Soundbar 500. It's a bit more expensive than the Sonos Beam and is quite a bit wider, but it's shorter, so if your TV sits close to the table, it may do a better job at not blocking the screen. The Bose can also be connected to a mobile device via Bluetooth instead of only using Wi-Fi, which is nice. Like the Sonos, it has a difficult time reproducing a lot of low-end rumble when used without the optional subwoofer. It's also a 3.0 setup, meaning like the Sonos Beam, it has a dedicated center channel to help with clear and accurate dialogue reproduction, which is great. Its surround performance is disappointing on its own, as all content is downmixed to stereo, though again, you can purchase rear speakers separately to improve this, but we haven't tested them. Overall, however, the Sonos Beam performs better and will likely be a better choice overall for most people. And that's pretty much it. What do you think of the Sonos Beam? Have you bought it? Let us know down below. You can also check out all of the measurements on our website. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe or become an insider. Also, we're currently hiring in our offices in Montreal for various positions. So if you want to help people find the best product for their needs, have a look at the career page on our website. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.